So I know people can get confused by the court cards. Well, I am in full court card mode at the moment. I am preparing the next module of my tarot correspondence course. If you haven't found that yet, head to my website because you can join at any point. And the court cards are my favourite part of the deck. So often people panic when they see a court card. They can't remember the meanings, they get confused by the rank, they get confused by the suit, and they go into panic mode and they forget the primary and single most important part of reading tarot, which is to stop and look at the cards. And I'm going to go through some really key symbols that you can look at when you get a court card to stop that panic in its tracks. With the pages, the best thing to do is to look at the relationship between the page and their suit. Okay, look at where the suit is. Look at how they're holding it. Look at how they're gazing or not looking at it. Go straight to the relationship between the page and the suit. With the knights, look at the horse. That is my number one tip for you. Pamela Coleman Smith, boy, could she paint a horse. Apart from, of course, the puppet horse in the Six of Wands, which is a little bit creepy. But in the knights, look at the horse. The horse tells you so much about the energy and the psychology of the knights. So if you've pulled a knight, look at that horse. And then in both the queens and the kings, look at how the individual sits on their throne. Do they own it? Or are they just kind of trying to shifty right off? Are they looking at you? Classic looking at you is the King of Swords. Or are they making no eye contact to you at all? Are they half in the water and engaged with their suit? Or are they on their throne? I know he's not trying to shift off it like the King of Wands, but there's an element that he's sort of looking far off into the distance. Look at the body language and look at how they sit on their throne for the kings. And then, this is the problem with tarot, because my cords are now all in the wrong order, but we will do it anyway. With the wands, look to see, is the wand grounded? Wands need to be grounded. That's a really important symbol. Look for the salamanders, okay? And an extra symbol is the sunflower in the Queen of Wands. To me, the salamanders are fascinating to trace through, from the jerkin to the jerking to the back of the throne, and then here literally made manifest, like King of Wands manifesting his visions. And also look at the crowns or the feathers and get a feel of those. For the suit of cups, look for the water. It is the suit of water, so look for the water. And also look for the fish. See where the fish is. There is a fish on each card. Look for the fish. See how that's represented. But first and foremost, look for the water. Suit of Swords is nice and simple. It's the Suit of Swords. Of course it's simple. I always find the Suit of Swords hardest to say, easiest to teach, easiest to express, because it's the suit of words. With the Suit of Swords, look for the birds. See how many there are. 1 for the single-minded and totally determined Queen of Swords. 2 for the King of Swords. He sees both sides. Many for the Page of Swords. He can be scattered and confused. Some for the Knight of Swords. He tries to keep one idea on his mind, but he can get distracted because he's so exhausted. Look at the birds, look at the clouds, and look at the sword. Can you see the end of it? Is the court card looking at the sword? Is it straight up or is it slightly to one side? Look at the sword, look at the birds, and look at the clouds. The first thing to notice about the suit of pentacles is they all have a golden background. I believe the suit of pentacles is the most joyful of all of the suits because it is the manifest suit. If we think, my analogy I've talked about in the past is either making a drink or making a meal, all the preparation, all the planning, all the making is wonderful, but the real pleasure comes when you eat it or gift it, depending on what we're talking about. So there's something really magical about this suit. When it comes to the pentacles, notice how they're holding their suit. That's really important. And notice the vegetation and the landscape. Notice how in the Page of Pentacles, it is a beautiful landscape. It is rich. It is fertile with those brown fields and the trees. And we've even got the detail of the little flowers down here. But the Blue Mountain. And the Blue Mountain linked to the Hermit is highest potential. We have that in the Queen of Pentacles as well. Look how arable this looks, just ready to be planted, but still with some trees in the distance. And then with the King of Pentacles, almost seems too lush. It's almost verging on the decadent. Where does his robe start and the vegetation finish? So look to that. So if you're worried about the court cards, if they confuse you, and I'm going to try and do, as I'm in a full court card mindset at the moment, I'll try and do a series of videos. But my first advice is when you get a court card in a reading, don't panic. Don't go into overwhelm. Oh God, I don't know my court cards. Stop. Look at the court card. If there's a horse, look at the horse. If there's a throne, see how the person is sitting on the throne. See how they're holding or interacting with their suits. Look at the vegetation in the pentacles. Look at the swords and the birds and the clouds in the swords. Look at the water and the fish in the cups. Look at whether their wand is grounded. Look for sunflowers, salamanders, and red feathers in the suit of wands, and allow the cards to speak to you.